Hi everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com, and I thought I would create for you a little treat box. I made this quite some time ago, but I just redid one with some of the really pretty butterfly paper that we had. So I thought I would share this with you. I thought it would be really nice to be able to do this with the toile tidings because you have the two different sides of paper. So it will be nice because you could do this as with a Christmas flare and it would have red and green on it. So I am going to do this. This paper is actually comes in 12 by 12, but I cut this down to 6 by 6 for a paper share that I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of the ones that has, let's see, I think I'm going to do the stripes. So I'm going to do the red and the green stripe. Now you could also do one with the holly just because it's double-sided. So it's going to be pretty no matter what you do. But just pick one side. Again, it doesn't even need to be 6 by 6. You can certainly use a bigger piece for this. But you just want to make sure that it is absolutely square. So take your time when you're cutting down your paper. And just make sure that it actually is square. So what you're going to do starting off is you're going to fold it just in half, and you want to make sure that you have your bone folder handy because you do want to make sure you reinforce your creases for this. And then you're going to fold it point to point. And again, just crease and then do the opposite. And same thing again, just crease. So then you're going to end up with a piece that kind of folds in to become a square. So let me see, might have, nope, one more, I forgot about that. We got to do this both ways. So both directions, so we're doing it, so we folded it this way, point to point, and point to point. And then you're going to end up with this piece that kind of looks like a graduation cap is what I say. You can actually make a card with this, with a graduation cap. So you're going to have this piece, and you just want to make sure you fold it so you have your points facing up. So you just basically take your paper, and you can go either way. So you could take this and fold it so the red is facing out. So you're just folding this on the crease and then go in, or the green. So it's up to you, okay? So we'll do this one with the red facing out. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take and just fold our pieces down. So I'm just opening it up, flip it over, just fold it all directions, make sure it's nicely creased. Okay, so then what we're going to do is, and just doing this so it's kind of to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to fold it to the center line there. Okay, so you want to try to make sure that you really hit the center line, because the more, and I'm going to put it this way just because it's easier for me. So this is where the opening is, I guess, just filming it. You want to make sure that it's nicely even, because the more even it is, the more even it'll be when you fold your pieces over. As you can see when I did this first one, some of these are a little bit off, but the more evenly you do it, the more even it will be when you have your creases. So again, just kind of folding into this crease line here, and it's going to kind of end up looking like a kite. And same thing again. Okay, so then you have your kite, or it's kind of like upside down ice cream cone. Then what we're going to do is we're going to open this up. So you're going to kind of stick your finger in, and you're going to open it, and you're going to again line up the crease line that you made with this corner here. So line that up, pop your finger in best you can, line it up. I will say it doesn't really have to be perfect, but the more even you do it, the nicer it looks. Same thing again, so kind of just stick your finger in, go with the point. Stick your finger in and then line that one up. Just like that. Just reinforce your creases there, okay? So then what you're going to do is you're going to take your end, you're going to fold this in, and you're going to fold this over. So you're kind of folding over the creases that you just created. to meet each other, okay? So let me just show you that again. So you have your creases that you just made, right? So you're going to open it up so it's on the solid side, so one solid piece, and you're going to fold this in and fold that in, okay? Then you're going to flip the whole thing over. Once again, open it up. I think my crease here was a little bit off. And then you're going to fold it in and fold it in. So you're just ending up again with that kite or that ice cream shape, but it's just kind of reversed, okay? So now you have this. So then what you're going to do is you're going to flip it back, fold it back on itself, okay? Completely turn it over, fold it back on itself, okay? Then you're going to open it to do the opposite, okay? So now you have opposite pieces, so you're going to fold this back and fold this back. Okay, and then you're going to stick your finger in the center, and at the same time you're kind of pushing up from the bottom, so you can kind of work the seams with your fingers, and then you have this cute little treat holder. Okay, so again, this was a 6x6 piece. This one that I did here was an 8x8 piece. One other thing you can do is you can take your bone folder and you can kind of curl these flaps here. And remember, we had the red facing out, so that's why the red is on the outside. So if you wanted the box to be green with red tips, whoops, you would make it so the green was facing out. So then the other thing you can do if you want to hold this steady is you can grab, you could do this with liquid glue, but just for the sake of, if you really want it to hold, I would suggest using liquid glue, but I'm going to grab 2 mini glue dots and put them kind of on here so you know you have a good tight piece, and I'm going to just press them in. But once again, if you want to do this, you could either use a piece of tear and tape and just press. Tear and tape would hold it nicely. Liquid glue, obviously you would have to hold it for a moment if you did the liquid glue, but, and one more. And then press, just like that. And then if you want to, you could use your bone folder. You don't want to press too hard because you don't want to pierce the paper. But then you have your cute little treat holder that you could fill with. It does fit miniatures really nicely. If you wanted to, obviously you could put something. This again was an 8x8 piece, so you could put something a little bit larger. You could fit a you could fit some actually some good sized candy in there. So that's a Snickers jack-o'-lantern, just so you could see for size. You probably could also fit in this one some fruit gushers. So that will fit in there, and then you could put in some candies as well. So it definitely does fit a good amount of stuff. Now, I do have another one where I actually made one with a lid. What you do is you kind of have to customize that depending on the size of your paper. So for this one, the hole should be, if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I've just spread this out just a little bit, make sure I have the, so this is about 1 inch and almost 3/4. So you could cut a little piece of the paper, and more like 1.5 inches. You could cut a piece of the DSP to make a top flap for it, and then you would just cut out a smaller piece of paper that is 1.25 inches on the inside with about a 1/4 inch rim, and you would trim them up so you could make a little bit of a lid for that, which that's another cute idea as well. Another thing that you can do, and I'm going to show you how to do it on this one just because I think it's fun, is if you have, you will need something to be able to, to be able to pierce the holes with this. So I would suggest using, if you have one, a crocodile, because it can go through more layers a little bit easier. So what you could do is you could put your, so we're going to kind of line this up, and I'm going to put this at the 1/4 inch mark. I'll put it in, kind of center it. So I'll do one on that side, and this might or might not be big enough, I have to see. One on this side. Actually, I ended up centering on both. I probably would have been smarter to center them on the line, but I am just slightly inside the line, which is okay. And then what you can do is you could grab pretty much any kind of ribbon, but I'm going to grab a piece of this since I have it. This is the double-stitched garden green, I believe this is. Yes, double-stitched garden green. So what you could do is you could take this and feed it through. Hopefully it's going to fit. Let's see. If not, might have to go with my slightly larger hole. Nope, it works. So I'm going to feed it through, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it through a good amount, and I'm going to make a little knot. So, just like so. And then pull it. Okay, and then you kind of want to guesstimate how much you think you're going to need. So if I'm going to say, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do a little bit extra, and I could always trim it off if I need to. So I have one piece here, and then I'm going to feed this one through. Pull this through. I am making sure that the edge of the ribbon is smooth and uniform so it's not twisted. So I'm going to pull it through a little bit, just enough that I can make a knot. Kind of make sure you move it to the end. There you go. And then you're going to pull this back through gently. And then, and you could tape this if you want it to be a little bit more so it was kind of hidden. You could tape it down a little bit, but then you could have a little handle for it. So it's a little treat holder. And again, I did not come up with this idea. I don't remember where I first saw this several years ago. I feel like I might have seen it on either Poodle's Papercraft or Papercraft Button. But they both do really nice projects. So it's a really simple, easy way. And then you could just put your candy in there and you can give someone a little gift with a little bit of candy. And again, it does depend. You can fit much more candy if you do an 8x8 piece. This is just a 6x6 piece that I had cut up. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to get all the products to make these, you could go to my online store, which is rachthestamper.stampinup.net. I will put the measurements onto my blog post just in case you missed anything. But essentially for this, you can make this to absolutely any size. You could even use a 12x12 piece. You would definitely end up with a very large box to fill. And actually, as a matter of fact, I'll show you. This one is a 12x12. This is the coffee cafe paper. So it just goes to show you how old it is. And I actually keep these, if you've never seen my video before, I keep these and I dye them and use them for shaker cards. But this is a piece here. This was done with a full 12x12 sheet of cardstock. This one I didn't anchor the ends down, but you certainly could. And then you can make them any size. You could fit lots of treats in here. You could probably actually put full-size bags of M&Ms or anything else in here if you wanted to. So as long as you have a piece that's square, you can use any of it up. And it's a great way to be able to show off your designer series paper because then you can show both sides because you can see the inside and the outside of it because one of them is going to be more on the outside and one it'll kind of showcase the inside. So also just remember when you do your fold and you make that piece that looks like the graduation cap, whatever side you want facing out, that's the side, the color you want to see when you're working on it. So I hope this has helped you guys to make a fun treat holder for someone for a special holiday treat. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email at rachthestamper@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the video. All you have to do is click the button that says subscribe, and if you click the little bell, it'll notify you every time I make a new video. Have a great day.